Are you new to selling and not sure how the sales call is supposed to go? Or maybe it's just that you're not feeling totally comfortable with the method you're using right now and want to increase your confidence on your sales call. Today I'm going to cover 6 steps that help you lead your potential client through a highly engaging and effective sales call. If you're new to this channel, I'm Jessie, and I help coaches and consultants have magnetic sales conversations and make one-of-a-kind offers so that they enroll more new clients without being pushy or salesy. As someone who has personally done thousands of sales calls and coached hundreds of new salespeople through the years, I've seen and heard a lot. From crazy client experiences to different sales methods to best practices to figuring out what works well for a heart-centered salesperson like me. It's my goal to share these tips with you so that you can be more effective and successful during your sales conversation, starting with your very next call. Years ago, when I was new to selling, I remember missing steps to the sales process, which meant that my potential client didn't have all the information they needed to make a good decision. It's like following a recipe to make your favorite meal, but leaving out an important ingredient. It just doesn't taste good. It doesn't come together as it should, and no one is very happy with the end result. You know what I'm talking about? First off, this is normal as part of the learning process. We're human and we won't get it right each and every time. Expecting perfection is just unreasonable. And with sales calls, this puts so much pressure on us that we're less likely to have a great call. So that's when I came up with a general path to follow, which I call a framework. This worked really well for me and helped keep the conversation natural and focused on the client while still leading them through an effective process towards a sale, as opposed to an aimless conversation or a very structured script. I want to share these steps with you so that you can implement them on your next sales call as guidance through a confident sales conversation. It doesn't take much guessing to know where you start the conversation with a meet and greet. This part of the call is to create a great and authentic first impression. You want to put your client at ease and start the potential long-term future relationship that you're going to have with them off on the right foot. You want easy questions, just like meeting a new friend. That's what's appropriate for this section of the call. It doesn't need to be long, but just enough to get the potential client comfortable. From the meet and greet, you move to setting the agenda. What do I mean by that? Well, it's you setting the agenda for the sales call. It's where you briefly go over how the call will go. Why would you do this? Well, there's a few reasons, but first and foremost, your potential client won't have been on a sales call with you before, and it's just a respectful thing to do to let them know what they're about to experience. It also makes them more comfortable, which is always a good thing, and it lets you take the lead in the conversation, which is also a good thing. So something as simple as, here's how the conversation will go today. We've set aside 30 minutes for this call, so I want to be respectful of that time frame as well. This part of the call sets some boundaries and makes what will happen on the call ultra clear to your potential client. From the call agenda, you move into the discovery section of the call. This is where you learn a lot from your potential client about their situation and what they are looking to resolve, what they are looking to accomplish. This section is all about asking great questions, digging deep to really understand your client. I encourage you to be careful about not problem solving or coaching them during this part of the call, because this can get you into trouble. I talk about that in this video. So as much as possible, keep this part of the call about your client and learning all you can about them. I have categories of questions that I'd like to touch on so that I get a full picture in my head of what the client is struggling with and why it's important for them to talk to me. This is the heart of the call, so be curious, take notes, and soak it all up. It's the best way for you to know if and how you can help them. From the discovery part of the call, you will have a really good idea if your offer is a good match as a solution for the client. So this is the step where you make the call if your offer is a good fit for what the client's looking for. Keep in mind that you want to be selective here. You don't want to work with everyone who crosses your path or each person who books a call with you. Believe me, there are clients out there who you don't want to work with. And if they have requirements that your offer doesn't really address, you need to have that conversation with them as well. But if what they're looking for aligns with your offer, that's great. It's time to move on to the next step on the path of the call. So the next step is where you share more details of what your offer does and how it helps people. To this point, you won't have talked about that, right? Hopefully not. So you can't move on asking for the potential client's business without giving them some idea of what your offer is and how it addresses situations similar to what the client just shared with you in that discovery section of the conversation. So offer a high-level overview of what you do and how you help people. You can tailor what you say about your offer to align with the main issues they are currently dealing with. This shows your potential client that you are listening to their needs. If you are a health and wellness coach and their main goal is to lose 10 pounds of weight, that's what you want to focus on, right? Even if you offer many other solutions. Those other items are a bonus for your potential client, but be sure to align your main solution with what they are really looking to accomplish. That only makes sense. It's also really good to share stories of the successes of your other clients here as well. Once you've shared some details about your offer, it's time to ask them for the sale. It can be as easy as, "Tell me what you think," or "How does this sound to you?" Asking for their business should feel completely natural at this point. It's like putting a period at the end of a sentence. It feels incomplete without taking this step. If you don't ask for their business, the client will feel like something's wrong or missing from the conversation. Can you see what I mean? So step by step, this walks you through the path that leads your client through the entire sales conversation. These steps are easy to remember and they help make sure you're covering all the information you need and what the client needs from you for you to easily ask for your business. Does the call end here? If you've ever done any sales calls, you know the answer is no. From this point, the call normally shifts to your client asking questions about your price. Other questions come up, and often this is where objections come up as well. Each of these topics is pretty significant and have strategies on how to handle them as well. They're significant enough that they really deserve separate conversations and honestly could have separate coaching programs for each of them individually. But of course, you're going to want to answer the client's questions and have choices for them with regard to your pricing so that deciding to buy with you becomes an easy thing for them to do. You want to think about how you can reduce the barriers and resistances for them working with you, whatever that means for your business. And for me, that generally does not mean lowering your price. But let's take it back to the 6 steps of the sales call. You've got the meet and greet, covering the agenda, the discovery section of the call, you making the call if your offer works well for them, covering your offer, and asking for their business. These are all the steps that you need to walk your clients through an effective sales call where you wrap up this call with a very natural request for their business. Simple as that. And if you miss any of these steps, you'll end up needing to circle back on it. That way you won't end up with a banana split with no bananas. You and your client need all the pieces to make the call complete, or you won't see the sales conversions you want, and the sales process will be much harder than you need it to be. I trust that you can relate to this story, and you can look at it against what you're currently doing now on your sales calls to see how they align. It's my goal to give you some ideas of value that you can apply to your next sales call so that you find the calls easier, your confidence is higher, and you start seeing more client enrollments based on some of the ideas you've implemented. If you have found this conversation to be of value, please hit that like button, and I really appreciate your support of this channel and the content I'm sharing with you. So if you would please subscribe, hit the bell for future notifications, and share it with friends who might benefit from it as well. And if you want to know more about what it looks like to work with me to refine your sales conversation, I've dropped a link in the description below. We can talk to see if we're a good fit to work together. I truly do appreciate you taking some of your very valuable time to watch this video. If you have suggestions for other sales topics you'd like a discussion about, please share those thoughts in the comments. And from here, I look forward to seeing you next week with more sales tips on how to keep you out of that pushy and pressure-filled sales zone, yet still signing up more and more new clients each and every day. Have a great week, my friends.